So one of the best ways to get started in property is leveraging existing equity. So what does it actually mean? So for a lot of us as property investors, when we want to get started in property, we know that we want to buy property, but we might not have the funds to actually make it happen, or we might not have all the funds to get started. However, if you own your own residential and you've owned it for a significant period of time, there may be equity in that property that you can actually leverage. So let's say, for example, 5 years ago, you bought a property for £300,000. That property now, 5 years later, is valued at £350,000. There is now £50,000 of additional equity in that property. And in that time as well, you've been paying down the existing mortgage on that property as well. So there's going to be equity in that property. Now, provided that you can show the lender that you can afford any additional mortgage payments, there may be an opportunity for you to actually pull out money from the property and then use that to buy more properties. So there's generally two ways you can do this. Now, the first way to do this is if you're at the end of a fixed term. So generally you'll be on a 2-year fixed term, a 5-year fixed term on your residential property. And then after that, you can then actually look to remortgage at the new value of that property. And depending on the lender, they're going to have different loan to value percentages that you can do this. So some might say 80, 85, 90. And that just means that you can now get a 90% loan on that property. And the difference between the old loan and then that 90% loan is now yours. And then your mortgage payment will just increase by that additional loan amount. Having these funds can enable you to buy more properties. The second way is through a further release. So this is actually within the fixed term, and it's your lender saying, okay, see you've made this application and we're okay to actually grant you with another mortgage as well on that additional loan amount. Now, again, both of these are really good ways to get started in property. It's some of the cheapest debt that you can get, and it really can get you starting and firing when it comes to buying property. So this is what I did. So I initially, a few years ago, pulled out £25,000. I believe this was in 2021, and then used that alongside some savings to then buy my first buy-to-let in Gillingham, which was my 2-bed flat. And then after, I pulled out another £50,000 from my residential property, and then with my younger brother, bought a block of 4 flats up in Halifax in Yorkshire. So essentially, pulling out equity from my property enabled me to buy another 5 properties. So I pulled out equity twice. A total of £75,000 is what I pulled out from this residential. And it's enabled me to actually grow my property portfolio. I also, as some of you know, I use this property as well that I live in to work for me. So I actually Airbnb out my spare rooms in this property as well. So I'm really trying to get as much value from my residential as possible. So if you do have a residential property and you feel it may have gone up in value over time, then this is a great way to get started. It's how a lot of property investors have actually got started. A lot of people that I speak to, this is what they did. They pulled out equity from their property and then used that to buy more properties. So hopefully this video has helped you understand how you can actually leverage your residential to pull out debt and then use that debt to then buy more assets. So if you enjoyed this video, do give it a like, and you found value from this video or any other video on this channel, then do subscribe as well. And until next time, happy investing.